The soul of a butterfly. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Those are some of the most famous words by Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali's name is not actually Muhammad Ali. It is Cassius Clay Jr. He changed because he thought Cassius was a slave name. Muhammad had 9 children, 7 girls and 2 boys. When people think of Muhammad Ali, they think of his great boxing skills and how he's one of the greatest boxers of all time. His boxing was magical, but he had one side of his life some people didn't know about, and that is when he got drafted into the Vietnam War. On April 28, 1967, in Houston, Texas, the boxing champion Muhammad Ali was sent to court. There he was accused of draft evasion by trying not to enter the Vietnam War. His stand was for his rights and for civil rights. He thought there was no point of going into the Vietnam War. This impacted a lot of people, and they started going against the Vietnam War. Some people went against him by saying he did very wrong by not defending his country. They thought, put him in jail, because you may not like what they are doing in the military, but you still should defend your country. Some just stayed out of it because they wanted no drama and didn't want to be part of it at all. Muhammad Ali thought African Americans were treated poorly and one of the many reasons he didn't go into the war. Muhammad Ali was asked to go into the Vietnam War twice and still said no both times. Right before Muhammad Ali was drafted to the Vietnam War, he converted to Islamic and said his religious beliefs would not allow him to go into the Vietnam War. He also said he didn't want to go kill more African Americans. When Muhammad said no, he was stripped of his World Boxing Championship title and was sent to jail and couldn't box for another 3 years after he served his jail time. Muhammad in a speech said, "I ain't got no quarrel with the Viet Cong." That was one of his most famous quotes that he ever said. He also said the people in Louisville are treated like dogs, and why should I go help another cause 10,000 and thousands of miles away? Muhammad was very strong with his words, and he spoke for what he believed. When Muhammad was saying his speech, he knew he was still going to jail, either way, but that didn't change his way of thinking about the Vietnam War. Muhammad Ali also said white people get too much and everyone should be treated equally, and he said that whites were in control everywhere. Then Muhammad Ali's case was appealed. On the second trial, Muhammad got everything he deserved back, for instance his boxing title. Muhammad Ali only had to serve 3 years in jail instead of 5. Muhammad then fought Joe Frazier, and of course, he won. Muhammad's stand also had some civil rights in it. He wanted African Americans to be treated equally, and Martin Luther King Jr. was there with him all the way. This is one of the main reasons Muhammad said no to the Vietnam War draft. Muhammad did not want to work with other whites unless they treated African Americans the same way they would treat other whites. Muhammad's followers had made posters about his most famous quotes. Muhammad was getting more and more people to follow him when he did more and more speeches. The stand also helped African Americans get through their struggles with civil rights. A lot of people, besides Muhammad, thought it was pointless to go into the Vietnam War, or they thought the Vietnam War in general had no reasoning behind it. Muhammad fell right into the top of that list when he said no to the Vietnam War twice. Martin Luther King Jr. and Muhammad Ali were very similar because they both fought for African American civil rights. In some press conferences for Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King Jr. was there with him all the way. Muhammad thought there was another reason he got arrested for no reason. That was because he thought he was African American. He did not like this because he even talks about it in some of his speeches. Muhammad Ali was a positive person, but this stand did not let him be so positive. He wanted the world to know what he thought about the Vietnam War, and to do that, he couldn't be so bright in his word choices, as he wanted to make his statement loud and clear. He wanted to make sure everyone knew what he thought, whether they liked it or not. Muhammad said that he wanted to say in different ways, funny or serious. Muhammad made his presence known to the government with his speeches and his word choices. Muhammad was not a religious man and said, "This stand is what God wants me to do." He also said that God is in control everywhere.
I will not go 10,000 miles from here to help murder and kill another poor people simply to continue the domination of white slave masters over the darker people of the earth.
Of your freedom. Well, now, well, see, you make yourself look crazy talking about I shouldn't go.
I work for the government, for part of the government.
Well, I work for God.
For my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight? We have been brainwashed. Everything good and of authority was made white. We look at Jesus, we see a white with blonde hair and blue eyes. We look at all the angels, we see white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Now I'm sure if there's a heaven in the sky and the color folks die and go to heaven, where are the colored angels? They must be in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey. Even Tarzan, the king of the jungle in back Africa. Such things as movies, commercials, advertisements, endorsements, and even the heavyweight championship of the world. This is all down to me if I will only give up my belief, if I will only deny the honorable Elijah Muhammad and the truth that God has given to me.
This was controversial because he just turned Islamic before all of the Vietnam War controversy began. A letter that Muhammad sent to the government was leaked and Muhammad got a lot of hate on what he wrote, but that didn't define Muhammad Ali. All Muhammad wanted was racial equality, just like Martin Luther King Jr. Muhammad never cared about what other people thought of him, and he would be himself, and himself only all the time. Muhammad loved all people, he just wanted them to be treated equal. Once the stand was over, everything went back to the same. Muhammad was destroying the boxing sport and became a sports icon to many people. Muhammad died on June 3, 2016 in Scottsdale, Arizona, and died of septic shock, and there was no reason why the shock happened or how the shock happened in that matter. When Muhammad Ali died, many people were starstruck. He was a sports icon to many people and was a role model also. Carmelo Anthony of the New York Knicks said he was his hero. He even has a tattoo of Muhammad Ali on his arm. Muhammad Ali was a loved man by many people. Now you can see his huge stand. And that was Muhammad Ali Took Its Impact, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast.